With inflation, poverty, and corruption in their midst, the weakest currencies are often in danger of being devalued and replaced in the worst possible cases. In all of these countries, the US dollar goes a long way in buying cheap goods that would have been relatively expensive in the United States. Hotel stays, top-class flights, and meals are also inexpensive compared to all the other countries. Numbering of these currencies has been very difficult due to the continuously changing economic situations and overall black market prices and illegal changing of money that grip these nations' time and attention. The rates listed are to the nearest hundred, so in order to set a precedent for the whole list. But without further ado, we bring you the top 10 countries with the weakest currencies in the world. 10. Cambodia. With the rate of 4,100 rials to 1 US dollar, the Cambodian rial stands at the lowest in these weakest currencies. But make no mistake, this does not mean that the rial is a very stable currency, with it not being popular at its issuing and is instead replaced by the US dollar. This leads to Cambodia being easy enough to navigate through on the US dollar, as you can buy plenty of things rather cheaply. An example to show the country being cheap is that you can buy 2 Coca-Cola cans for $1 when you would have to spend $2 on a can in America. You can buy a t-shirt with so-so quality while paying $1.50 for one with better quality. That's around twice as cheap as in the USA. So if you're ever in a tight budget in terms of US dollars, you can always make do here, as the currency is used by the locals in terms of their own original currency, the rial. 9. Paraguay. Being the second poorest South American country, Paraguay has a much inflated economy and holds the 9th position on this list. It's relatively worse than Cambodia, although the Paraguayan guarani hasn't been replaced by any foreign currency yet, but the economic downturn means that the US dollar goes a long way. The crippled economy means that the guarani has taken a massive hit, making the US dollar soar in reference to the local currency. What's interesting is that in under 200 US dollars, one can rent a 4-star hotel room, have a top-class evening meal, and hire a car. Considering that the US dollar equals 6,600 Paraguayan guarani, this seems fair and very cheap indeed. 8. Laos. The only currency on this list that is not on the decline but is strengthening against the US dollar. However, with its low value when it was issued, means that the Lao is still struggling to increase the relevance of the Laotian kip. With 1 US dollar converting to 9,000 Laotian kips, one can buy 2 mugs of coffee at the Scandinavian bakery for 1 US dollar. In the tourist centers at Laos, the base price for hotel rooms would be around 6 to 10 US dollars with AC, hot water, and a good quality of rooms, which is a good price when one is on a tight budget. However, as the economy isn't tumbling down like most of the countries on this list, the Laotian kip is a stable currency at the moment. 7. Guinea. Even though Guinea has natural gifts like gold, diamonds, and aluminum in abundance, its currency does anything but reflect that. This is all due to the internal conflicts in the country, with roaming gangsters, overwhelming poverty, and a high inflation rate, which means that around 9,400 Guinean francs make up $1. About 150 US dollars would get you a room in a Conakry hotel, a 3-course meal, and a 4-wheel drive rental. The currency is on a steep decline, and the future for the country's economy looks bleak. 6. Sierra Leone. Wars and the deadly Ebola virus have marred the already weak economy, leading to the Leonean leone being devalued. The leone stands at 9,700 leone to 1 US dollar. A day renting out a top hotel room with TV and AC, a 2-course meal, and a 4x4 hire may come at a cost of less than 300 US dollars, and a daily budget of $20 for food and accessories leave the mind surprised at the cheap day-to-day prices. The tests of the war and the virus have left Sierra Leone seriously worse for the wear, with the Leone suffering. 5. Uzbekistan. The government maintaining tight control on the cotton supply while compromising on food has left farmers on the edge and left them no choice but to revolt on the rules for agriculture and the rather low payout for their crops, and with the corruption leading to the currency to not be of much use, as about 10,000 some are in exchange for $1, making this country stand at the middle ground of this list when compared to the US dollar and the overall prices of day-to-day life. One can see that when observing that an international hotel in Tashkent is about $140 for the stay, and a flight from Tashkent to Yurganch is about $100. A good restaurant meal costs about $4, with a popular local street food, a shashlik, costing $1. Other street foods cost about the same, and even less than the price aforementioned. 4. Indonesia. Even though it's one of the most developed and economically stable countries in Southeast Asia, the Indonesian rupiah stands about $1 to 15,000 rupiahs, making it one of the most devalued currencies in the world. Authoritarian efforts to strengthen the national currency have only led to insignificant changes. Less than $200 bring about a stay at boutiques and resorts at remote places, a car rental along with a driver, and special tours for activities such as diving and the choice to dine in top restaurants in Bali. 3. Vietnam. With an exchange rate of 23,000 dongs to a US dollar, the country stands at the third poorest in the world. Shifting to a market economy from a centralized one, Vietnam has been argued as moving up the ranks, with experts arguing that the currency will soon catch up with its Asian neighbors. Small purchases such as street food, t-shirts or shorts, or SIM cards cost less than $5, and museum visits are less than $1 per person. Luxurious hotels are about $500 for a 3-day stay, with spa treatments and shopping included in the budget. These prices might be changed very soon, with the trajectory of the country's economy only leading up at this moment due to good governing. 2. Venezuela. As the country having the second cheapest currency in the world, with the bolivar also being considered the most inflated. Authorization, corruption, economic mismanagement, one such example being the creation of the cryptocurrency Petro, which has aided the hyperinflation even more, along with COVID-19 dampening the misery furthermore. This leads to the US dollar progressing in the Venezuelan market, in which budget lodgings are about $5, with a good dinner costing $2. Touring Salto Angel for 3 days would cost a person $200. 1. Iran. Topping this list as the country with the weakest currency, Iran has been a victim of black market lifting, the United States sharpening sanctions on the country, with Iran having to face severe inflation that is reflected on its currency, that is 220,000 rials to $1. The US dollar is very strong against the rial, as can be seen when a top-class hotel stay is about $140, with meals being $25, and a rental car and driver being brought for up to $100. As the list comes to an end, we are reminded that inflation and corruption, along with the overall economic situation of these countries, are open to change. Overthrowing of the government, internal strife, revolutions, and grants from wealthier countries can change the position of these countries, which might make some of these either make their way out of this list, making the US dollar relatively weak against it, or either climb up, which would lead to the US dollar having a firm advantage over the local currency, sometimes even replacing it. Economic sanctions, such as the one on Iran, and the conversion from a market economy to a centralized one, are wild cards in these rankings, and they are prone to removal. The countries in these lists are often underdeveloped, and thus their currencies are weak against the stable currencies such as the US or Canadian dollar and the euro. Those countries which are sufficiently developed but don't have a stable currency are often badly mismanaged, leading to the currency being ignored in foreign countries. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you never miss our videos. Thanks for watching the video.